Hey guys, good to have you here. This is Jose Zavalza with the Jose Zavalza Coaching Program. And today we're going to specifically go over on how to create your 2023 business plan. But even before we start to create our business plan, let's go over exactly what we're going to cover in today's session. Number one, to know where you're going, you got to find out where you've been. So we're going to do a quick recap on 2022. Also, we're going to go over the plan and some key questions that you need to ask yourself on some changes that need to be made in order for you to make sure that you meet the goals that you've set for 2023. Let me go over a couple of reasons or some purposes as to why you should create a business plan. And you want to write these down. Number one, it helps you create an effective strategy for growth. That way you know exactly what you got to do every day, every week, every month to make sure that you're growing in the right direction. Number two, it helps you determine what your future financial needs are going to be. As part of your plan, you should also be hitting milestones, and those milestones should help indicate exactly where you need to be financially. Number three, it helps you create direction and is the driving force or the engine that causes you to act. When you see a plan in front of you, it should motivate you. It should be that catalyst to get that engine going, to motivate you to do the daily activities in order for you to meet your goals. And lastly, it helps you think bigger. It helps you stretch out that muscle in between your ears here that helps you think bigger, stretch out more to help you get your goals. Before we get into the plan, let's take a look back and let's do a little recap on 2022. And you want to find out exactly what you've done and exactly what areas that you need to track so that you know exactly what you need moving forward. So number one, you need to track down how many listings you've taken. Now the importance of a listing is because it helps you control a lot of things, primarily your commission, your time, and inventory. The inventory available is huge because it'll allow you to put a buyer into your own inventory. The second number or the second area that we need to look at is sales open. Now, sales open is a category that is underrated because a lot of people don't even know what the definition of a sale open means. So I'll tell you. A sale open is defined as a listing now put in escrow or a buyer that you've put in escrow. So in essence, if you've taken one listing and you have now sold that listing, that equals a sale open. If you have a listing and you've got your own buyer in there, that equals two sales open because you've sold your listing and you also have a buyer. If you have one buyer and you put that buyer in escrow, that is a sale open. And traditionally, sales open will obviously flow right into the next category, which is how many closings. How many closings have you taken or have you done in 2022? Another important number that you need to look at is what is the average sales price of the properties or of the transactions that you have sold. Not the average in your area, but the average of sales price that you have sold. So for example, if you've sold two properties, one sold for $200 and the other sold for $300, the average is $250. That is the number that we need to take a look at that will naturally feed the next category, which is the average commission paid. What is the average commission that you were paid in 2022? So again, using those same two houses from earlier or the examples from earlier, you sold one house at $200,000 and it paid you at 3% commission. $200,000 at 3% equals $6,000. The other house sold at $300,000 at 3% commission, that is $9,000. $9,000 commission plus $6,000 commission divided by the number of transactions equals an average of $7,500 paid per transaction. That is going to be huge for you to know exactly how to plan out 2023. And also you need to know the number of current pending transactions that you currently have because some of those transactions will tail over into 2023. And lastly, you need to know what your current year-to-date GCI total is. GCI stands for gross commission income. Now, the reason that we track gross commission income is because I'm speaking to a lot of agents out there that get paid out various different ways. And as a result of them getting paid differently, each one will have a different net. So the best way to track this is through gross numbers. Now, before we go on into actually planning out 2023, you got to ask yourself a couple of questions. These questions are super important because these are questions that you don't need to answer to me. You need to answer to yourself. These are questions that are going to make you think as to why things happen a certain way or where are some areas that I can improve on. So ask yourself these questions. Number one, what were the major victories in 2022? What were some of your major victories that happened this year? Did you meet your goal? Did you exceed your goal? Did you start to role play with my coaching program that helped build your skill set and build up your mind? Whatever those milestones and victories are, you have to pat yourself on the back and congratulate yourself for those victories. Also, the second question is, what was your biggest challenge? Or what was your biggest challenges? Maybe you had more than one. Again, life's gonna hit you at the least expected time. And some of those challenges will have to be addressed so that we know how to pivot and adjust around those challenges so that we don't get faced with the same issues moving forward. Next question that you want to ask yourself is, where or what areas can I improve on? Maybe it's your time management. Maybe it's making sure that your calendar is organized. Maybe it's making sure that you're prospecting on time. Where or what areas can you improve on moving forward, again, so that you have a better probability of meeting your goals in 2023. And lastly, what will you commit to in 2023? And again, I use the word commit because a commitment is a promise to yourself. It's not a promise to me or anyone else around you. It's the promise to yourself. What will you commit to in 2023 that will help you elevate your game, raise your standards to make sure that you're meeting your goals in this next year? Now let's get into the plan. Now this is huge. I'm gonna start off by asking you a series of questions. Now these questions are super important because now that we're actually filming this in November 2022. And the reason why I start business planning for 2023 in November is because I like to run off of a 14-month calendar versus a 12-month calendar. Because in reality, what you start to produce now is going to start to bear fruit in January. Your typical real estate transaction takes anywhere from 30 to 45 days to close. And when you factor in holidays, anything that you open now will start to affect your January closings. So ask yourself, how many days will I work from November 15th till December 31st? Understanding that there's Thanksgiving, understanding that there's Christmas and New Year's and a lot of family get-togethers and family time period, you have to look at this realistically and say, how many days will I work for the final days of the year? Because it's those days that you're working that will affect, again, your January closings. Next, how many days will I work in 2023? Now, again, I know I'm asking a lot of you. I need you to take out a calendar. I need you to take a look at your Google Calendar or whatever it is, and you need to look at, from the 365 days that we have in 2023, realistically, how many days will I work? Factoring in all the holidays, factoring in all the weekends, factoring in all the birthdays and anniversaries and vacations, you need to know how many days will I work in 2023. Now, you can say, I'm gonna work 200 days, which is perfectly fine. As long as the days worked match your commitment and the level of activities that will help you meet your goal. Moving on, ask yourself, how many listings will I take in 2023? Again, when we recap 2022, a reminder, a listing will control everything. It will control your income. It will help control your time. It helps control the inventory in your market as well. So ask yourself, how many listings will I take in 2023? Next, how many sales will I open in 2023? Keep in mind, sales is defined as a listing in escrow or a buyer in escrow, okay? Moving on, how many transactions will I close in 2023? Now, typically, your listing to closing ratio is 1-to-1. So if you want to take 10 listings next year, you're at least going to close 10 deals. But we also have to factor in your buyer escrow. So listings to closings is typically a 1-to-1 ratio. For the lenders that are out there looking or watching this video, we coach lenders as well. So the lenders, I need you to ask yourself, how many loan applications will I take next year? How many loans will I originate in 2023? And lastly, how many loans funded must I do in 2023? For those of you that are hearing me that actually work with teams, I need you guys to help focus on this. How will I help my agents grow? What expectations do I have for their growth? What role will my agents play, or will my team play for the embetterment of the team together? What role do I play? What do they expect from me, and what do I expect from them? And lastly, what must I focus on for me to achieve all these numbers? And again, as a recap, listings taken, sales open, transactions closed. Those are the three biggest categories that you need to look at and track every single week, every single month, to make sure that it's feeding into the ultimate goal. Thank you for listening. This is a little bit on how to create a business plan for 2023. We have so much more information to offer you. If you found this information valuable, please do me a huge favor, like, comment, subscribe, but most importantly, share it with all your fellow real estate agents and lenders. And I'll see you on the next video.